So during the summer last year, when things had calmed down a bit, I got the chance to teach my 9-year-old nephew how to play Warcry. There was just one problem. We have about half a language in common. My nephew has taken an interest in my miniatures before. I even gave him a box of push-fit Cadians that I'd ordered by mistake once. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a language barrier. His first language is Mongolian, and my Mongolian skills are pretty basic. Certainly not well enough to explain how to play the game, all in Mongolian. And let's just say that his English abilities are even more limited. So, how did I do it? 1. Lots of body language and gesturing. And 2. I took out anything that wasn't essential to play the game and simplified the rest down to its most basic components. You could argue that the faction ability cards and the frankly rather frustrating to explain but easy to demonstrate initiative system is a big part of what makes Warcry the game that it is. But these aren't really necessary to actually play the game, and for someone who's completely new to miniature wargames, it's just an extra layer of complexity and confusion. For our first few games, I let my nephew pick out one mini from my collection, and then I showed him the fighter card for it. The icon system in GW's cards really helped out here and made it so much easier to explain. We played a few 1v1 games with 1 action per activation, and then we went on to games with 1-on-1 but 2 actions per activation. Starting with 1 action per activation keeps the game in line with other board games like chess and Go, and adds an extra layer of familiarity. And of course then switching to 2 actions per activation later feels like everyone getting a double turn, something that every kid wants when they start learning to play some board games like chess. Once we had 1v1 battles down pat, it was time to try 2v2 and then 3v3 battles. By this point my nephew was getting pretty proficient at reading the stats on the fighter cards. I had a good demonstration of this when my daughter decided she wanted to play and pulled out Mind Steel Sparkle, which is effectively her miniature. The look of shock on my nephew's face when he saw that particular fighter card was a good indication that he could comprehend what was on there. We didn't get time for this last summer, but the next step would have been to explain the point values, one part of the card that we had been ignoring up to this point. Then we could work on to building a force based on the point values. My nephew had already gotten his head around the idea that some fighters were clearly stronger than others, and it would have been pretty easy to then make the connection between fighter strength and points values. And then the idea that one of these big tough ogres could easily be a match for like 3 or possibly more smaller fighters. After that, the terrain and deployment cards should obviously be a piece of cake. The moral of this story is that if you have time and patience and can break the rules down into easily digestible chunks, you can teach pretty much anyone how to play a war game. Thank you very much for listening to my story today. I hope you got something out of it. And what are your experiences in teaching people how to play some war games or RPGs? Let me know in the comments below. I plan on doing more videos like this in the future, in addition to my crafting videos, so if you would like to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. There is also a link to my Instagram account down below. I'm starting to use Instagram more for things like work in progresses and some upcoming projects. I have had a bit of difficulty using it in the past, largely due to where I live, but I think I've got that mostly sorted out now. There are also some real life reasons for slowing down some of my crafting and painting at the moment, but I hope to pick that up again very soon. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.